If you are a salon manager, then there was a time when it was your first day in the job. And if you're not yet a salon manager, but aspire to be, then that first day as a manager is yet to happen. There are usually two possible scenarios for how first-time salon managers start out. The first is that they were made manager in an established salon that is owned by someone else. The second is that they've opened a salon of their own, and the title of manager came with the keys to the door. They're both very different scenarios, and they both bring their own unique challenges. But either way, being a successful manager isn't easy. So here's my top tips to help you become the best salon manager that you can be. Tip number one is that it's all about the people. Being a salon manager is about dealing with both things or situations, and secondly, it's about dealing with people. Now, when I say things and situations, I mean the inanimate stuff like the washing machine is broken or the stock order hasn't arrived yet. Whereas when I say it's about dealing with people, it's stuff like a team member has called in sick again, or a team member needs to be spoken to about their own parents. Or it might mean that a team member needs to be spoken to because they've just had their best week ever. Or a team member has just had another 5-star review on Google and is always going the extra mile when it comes to good customer service. Dealing with the things and situations is not exciting. In fact, it can be deadly boring, but it's important and it has to be done. But dealing with the people issues can get very exciting. It's often emotional. It can keep you up at night. It can also be stressful, unpredictable, and full of surprises, both good and not so good. So tip number one is understanding that dealing with the things and situations are inevitable, important, and a part of the job. But to be really successful, it's all about the people. Tip number two is that it's important to understand that a salon manager is not just a busy stylist. In other words, you don't manage a team of people just by being the most productive person behind the chair and think that they will blindly follow your lead. Managing people takes time. You have to engage and connect with the people on your team. You have to nurture and build relationships. You have to create trust and build rapport with the people on your team, and all that takes time. As a salon manager, your role is that of a team leader. Your real success is not about doing all the work yourself. Your real success is about your ability to build a team and to get others to be productive and happy stylists behind the chair. Tip number three is that as the new salon manager, it's important that you don't rush in and try and change everything overnight. There's an expression, seek first to understand, then to be understood. As a new manager, not everyone always wants you to succeed. There may even be people on your team who, for whatever the reason, want to come up against you and challenge your authority. So my advice is that as a new manager, listen first, watch, observe, ask questions, and get the team on side first, and then start looking at ways to bring about positive change. Remember, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Tip number four is be consistent. As a new manager, for any number of reasons, it's easy to have situations or people that you treat differently. In a word, don't. Now, I'm going to leave a small margin here for your discretion because inevitably there will be a time where there may be a valid exception that you need to allow for. But as a generalization, when you start treating people or situations differently, then you're potentially creating problems for yourself later on. They might be older. They might have more experience than you. They might intimidate you. They may even be a family member, or they might be your friend outside of work. But when you have favorites, when you have one rule for this person and another rule for someone else, you're undermining the level of respect and authority they have for you as a manager. Tip number 5 is don't be afraid to ask for advice. Many people that are a first-time salon manager are essentially just dropped in the deep end without any training or support, and they're expected to just figure it out. Obviously, that's the wrong way to go about it. Being a manager involves skills that you have to learn, just like you have to learn to cut and color hair. You also have to learn how to be a manager. It takes time. You will make mistakes. You will question yourself as to whether or not you have what it takes for the job. So don't be afraid to ask for advice. Whether that's advice from a colleague, a coach, a mentor, a family member, or even an online community, don't be afraid to seek the advice of others. Listen to their opinions, reflect on their observations, be prepared to change your own mind. But as long as you ask for the advice from someone whose opinions you respect, then in all probability, it's going to help you grow and develop as a manager. So that's it. That's my top 5 tips for the first-time salon manager. Thanks for watching. And if this has been helpful, there's a lot more content over on our website. Amongst other things, we produce a weekly podcast featuring some of the brightest and most creative minds in the industry today, as well as our best-selling books, our online courses, and some free resources. So visit us at growmysalonbusiness.com, where we have so much more that we can help you with.